Hey guys, thanks for joining me for an episode of Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and today we're going to take a look at Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters by Mattel Games. This is a 2 to 4 player game that takes roughly half an hour to 45 minutes to play, and is a fully cooperative game so all the players are working together against the box. So in the game itself, the players are playing little kids that are going into this house to try to find all the little hidden gems and make it out of there again before the house becomes completely haunted and traps them in there forever. So my opinions of this game so far are really good. I found this one at Gen Con last year. It really caught me by surprise. This is a great family game. I would highly recommend it for families, and it is also a great game for light gaming groups. I wouldn't recommend this one for a heavy strategy group or something like that, as this one really isn't going to do it for you. But this is definitely one for families and other groups that I would recommend checking out. The production on this was really well done. I love all the little ghost miniatures, and the little kids are really well done and sculpted. And it's just a lot of great artwork, and very easy to teach, very easy to play. And I had a good time with it, so I would definitely recommend checking this one out. But of course, these are just my opinions. I'd also love to hear your guys in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this game, if you've played it or not, or if you're interested in. Also, if you guys enjoy these videos, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel, as it will help me to continue to grow and bring new games to you guys. And if you also want to stay up to date, ring the bell to stay and get notifications when new videos come out. So let's go ahead and head to the table, and I'll teach you guys how to play. There are two different die included in the game. The first one is the movement die, and it is a regular D6 die, which has numbers 1 to 6 on it. 5 of the sides are going to have the little ghosts on there as well, which means that you must draw and resolve a ghost card when you roll that. The only side that does not is the number 6 side. Then we have the battle dice, which are 3 of the sides are going to have the little ghost symbol on them. 2 sides will have the haunting symbol on it, and 1 side will be blank. And we're going to get into what these symbols mean more during that phase. The other components included in the game is you'll have 8 jewel tokens that are numbered 1 to 8 on them. You'll have 24 little ghost miniatures. You're going to have 6 of the haunting miniatures, and you'll have the 4 little hunters. Each of these hunters has a backpack that you'll be able to slot a jewel in to carry it around the house to try to get it out of there. And so at the beginning of the game, each player is going to choose one of these hunters to be. Let's go ahead and take a look at a breakdown of the deck of cards that are included in the game now. So we'll have 4 door cards, 2 blue and 2 green, and these will lock the doors for the advanced game. We're going to cover this a little bit more later. Then we have the shuffle card, draw 2 and shuffle card, and draw 3 and shuffle card. With the regular one, when this shuffle card comes up, you'll reshuffle the draw deck with the discard pile. When these 2 come up, you'll draw 2 and resolve them before shuffling, and this one will draw 3 and reshuffle after that. Then we have the 12 ghost cards. You'll have 1 ghost card for each of the rooms that is in the mansion, and it will just tell you to place a ghost in that room. And there's a lot of really fun, little cool artwork on them as well. If you're playing a basic game, you're going to go ahead and remove the 2 draw cards and the 4 door cards. So you would just be using these. Otherwise, in an advanced game, you can go ahead and shuffle all of these cards up. The last thing I want to cover before moving into setup is the board itself. So we have the entrance over here to where the players are going to enter the mansion. And then the mansion is going to have hallways that are going to be separated into individual spaces. Only one player can have their figure on any space at one time. Then we have the individual rooms that are going to have a number of different things. You'll have entrances through the different colored doors, which there are green doors and blue doors. Each room is going to have a letter in it, which will denote when a draw card is drawn. It'll have a letter, and that's where the ghost will be placed. Each room also will have these 2 little green dots in it, which is where the little ghost miniatures are going to go. And it also is a reminder to the players that any room can only have 2 ghosts in it. If a 3rd ghost is placed in a room, then all the ghosts are removed, and a haunting is placed in there instead. So with setup with this, it's very easy and straightforward. First off, each player is going to choose a miniature that they want to play as, and they can go ahead and place it at the entrance. So we're going to go ahead and play with a 4-player game. Then, like I said, you'll shuffle up the deck, and this is we're setting up for a basic game in this, so I have removed the 4 door cards and the 2 shuffle plus cards. And you can go ahead and place that here. Then each room that has the red background to the letter is going to have a gem put into it. If this, again, with this being a basic game, it doesn't matter where the gems, what number on the back of the gem it is. In the advanced game, you're going to go ahead and shuffle these up and place them randomly in each room. So like I said, each room that has the red background to the letter is going to have a gem placed in it. So B will not, because it's a blue background. And then finally, we're going to be placing some ghosts. The ghosts are going to go into the rooms that have the little green circle around the green circle in them. So room C, F, I, and L are the only rooms that will start with ghosts in them. At this point, we're ready to start the game. The last thing we need to do before starting the game is to select one of our players to be the starting player. You can do this in any manner you want. You can roll the dice and the highest player, or simply choose one. So we're going to go and have the yellow player be the starting player. From there, it'll proceed in a clockwise manner around the table, with each player activating one after the other. During each player's turn, there's a sequence of steps that they must follow in order, and then it'll proceed to the next player. So let's go ahead and start. Our yellow player is going to go ahead and give the movement dice a roll. This is the first step in his turn. This is going to tell him two things: the number of spaces he can move, and then if a little ghost icon comes up, that means he must draw and resolve a ghost card. So the second step is to do that. If there is a ghost symbol, we must draw and resolve a ghost card. So we have a ghost. So this tells us that we're going to be placing a ghost in room letter I. So our room letter I there, and we'll place our second ghost there. From there, then we're going to move into the movement phase, or the movement step of this turn. So our yellow player can move up to 4 spaces. He does not have to move 4 spaces, but he can choose to move up to 4 spaces. Each space in the hallway is considered 1 space. There is no diagonal movement allowed, so he couldn't do 1, 2, and 3 here. He must do 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Now he can also enter into rooms, and he can choose not to use all of his movement. So our yellow player here can go 1, 2, and then he can either go through the green door into this room or the blue door into that room. So let's go ahead and go through the green door into this room. That is his third movement point, as it costs 1 point of movement to get into the room. Now he could continue going if he wanted to move into that room for his final movement point if he wanted to, or he can choose to stop here. At this point, the next step is if you're in a room with a gem, you can choose to pick that gem up if you want. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll place that in his backpack. And then the final step is if you're in a room with a ghost, you must do battle. If there's only one player in the room, then you're going to roll 1 dice. If there are 2 or more players in the room, then you would roll both dice. So let's go ahead and give the dice a roll and see what happens. So if a ghost symbol comes up, for each ghost symbol that comes up, you can remove 1 of the little ghosts that is in the room. If the room is haunted, if it is being haunted, then you must have at least 2 players in the room to be able to fight the haunting. And at that point, then you would roll 2 dice. If one of those dice comes up with the haunting symbol, then the haunting is removed from that room. So that is the end of that player's turn. So we're ready to move into the next player. So our next player is our blue player. So again, we're going to go ahead and give the dice a roll. Another 4, and a ghost card. So we'll reveal the next ghost is an H. So we'll place 1 in the H room. Then he can move up to 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go ahead and pick up his gem. And he has no ghosts to fight in there, so his turn is over. So we're going to go to the green player to take his turn. He rolled a little bit better with a 5. Again, he has to resolve a ghost card. So we have B. And then he can move up to 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Then we're going to go to our final player. She rolls a 3. So we have to resolve a ghost card. It's a shuffle card. So at this point, no ghost is placed. These cards are going to be shuffled back into the deck. And the whole deck will be shuffled back up. And then she can do her movement. So she can move up to 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. And she has a gem in there, so she's going to go ahead and pick that up. At this point, then we're going back to the yellow player. So again, we're going to roll. And let's go ahead and say that he rolled a 4 again. So again, we would resolve a ghost card. So we have a ghost in D. And then he can move up to 4 spaces. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3 out of the house. At this point, since he is out of the house, he can drop his gem. So we're going to go ahead and place it over there. Now, he does have 1 point of movement left, but since he has taken another action, he will forfeit that. And then, again, he doesn't have any ghosts to fight as he's outside the house, so his turn is over, and we would head into the next player. And this is going to continue until either the players lose the game by having 6 rooms haunted, or they will win the game by getting all the gems outside of the house before the 6 hauntings happen. So now that I've covered hauntings, let's go ahead and talk about the other way that players can lose. So like I said, if there are 6 hauntings out and 6 rooms are haunted, the players will automatically lose. The other way players will lose is if each player has a gem and they're in a room with a haunting. At that point, no player can move, in which case then the players will lose the game because they can't proceed any farther. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the advanced rules. So first off, like I said, at the beginning of the game when you're setting up, you're going to go ahead and shuffle up all of the gem tokens with the number side down and place them randomly in the rooms that I've outlined. During the advanced rules, when a player moves into a room, they are able to look at the gem and figure out what number it is. The key to this is that these gems must be removed from the mansion in sequential order. So the first gem is the one that has to leave the mansion first, followed by number 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8. So the players must plan out and figure out where the gems are that they need and be able to get them out in order. The other big change is the inclusion of the door cards, which when a door card comes up, so we'll go ahead and say that we drew the blue door card, it is placed off to the side, and now the blue doors are locked, and the players will not be able to exit rooms or enter rooms through the blue door. The only time that this is going to change is if you draw another door card. So let me find the other one here. We have the green, then that would switch over to the green rooms, as only one color door can ever be locked at any time. And if a shuffle card is drawn, then you would resolve it, and then all those are removed and reshuffled back into the deck. And then all the doors are open again. The other important thing I want to cover with movement is that in the hallways, only one player can occupy a space at any one time. So if the green player rolled a dice, so let's say he rolled 4, the green player can move past the yellow player as long as he has enough movement to make it to the next space. But let's go ahead and say that, for example, he rolled a 2, which means that he would move 1, 2 and stop on that space. He cannot do that, so he must stop before that player, as he doesn't have enough movement to take him past or into one of the rooms. Now, if you can't get enough of Ghost Fightin' Treasure Hunters, there is one expansion that is out. This is a separate expansion. This does not come with the box, but this is the Rogue Ghost. This is going to come with 4 secret passages, a bunch of new tokens that are going to replace the gem tokens that you have now. These are going to have different effects on the players once they pick them up. So for this one, it's going to add 1 ghost to the room that this gem is picked up in. This one will add 2 ghosts to the room that the gem is picked up in. The player that holds this one cannot leave a room with ghosts. This one will add a haunting to that room when it's picked up. This one, the player cannot fight ghosts unless they're with another player. This one will require the player to draw an additional ghost card each time they draw a ghost card until this gem is put down. And this one will subtract 1 from the player's movement that holds this gem. Then we have the Rogue Ghost, and I'll tell you how he works a little bit later. And then there's a whole separate deck that has the full moon symbol on it. This deck has the letters of A through K again. Just like the other deck, it has the 4 room cards and the 2 draw and shuffle cards. The new cards with it are the Rogue Ghost card, which when drawn, you're going to revert back to the old deck and draw 1 card, and that's the room that the Rogue Ghost will move into. And then you have trap cards where the Rogue Ghost will pull your adventurer into a different room. So the biggest changes in the Rogue expansion are the setup instructions. So first off, you're going to shuffle up the Rogue deck, which is going to be the one with the full moon symbol on it. So you shuffle those up. And then you're going to place that here. Now with the old deck, you are going to use that. You're going to separate all of the cards out and only grab the letter cards. From there, you can go ahead and shuffle those up as well, and you can just place them somewhere on the board out of the way. So we'll just put them up here, and you'll use this when you're required to by the rogue cards, as you guys will see. Then you're going to go ahead and grab the new gems, shuffle them up, and this time you're going to place a gem in each room. There is no requirements on that. So every room in the mansion will receive a gem. And then finally, just like before, you're going to place a ghost in each of the rooms that we did before. So C, F, and I. This time though, the rogue ghost, the little blue ghost, will go in the room L. And then finally, you're going to also place out these secret passages in each of the rooms as they are labeled. So you'll have one in K, you'll have one in G, we'll have one in F, and one in A. From here, again, we're ready to begin the game. So the game itself plays exactly the same way. The player's objective is to remove all 12 gems from the mansion before the 6 rooms become haunted. The only changes are obviously the handicaps that the gems are going to provide when picked up, and the way a couple other things are going to work. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look at the secret passages. When a player moves into a room with a secret passage, they can choose to use that secret passage by using 1 point of movement, which will allow them to move to any other secret passage still on the board. So let's say that our yellow player decided to go to G. At this point, then he would move into the room and both of those secret passages would be removed from the map. The next thing we're going to look at are the 2 different cards that we have. So the first one is a rogue ghost card. And again, if our player rolls the ghost symbol on a dice, then he must resolve a card. So let's say, for example, the first one that comes up is the rogue ghost. This card is going to move the rogue ghost to a new room by drawing one of the old cards, which is the rogue ghost deck now. So this is going to place him in room B. So he would move up there, and he will count towards the total ghost count in a room. So if he's the 3rd ghost in a room, then that room would become haunted. And another thing is the rogue ghost can never be fought. If he is the only ghost in a room, or a ghost in a room that the players are in, and they fight ghosts in that room, he is never removed. He is always on the board, moving around, causing all kinds of havoc. The next card we have is the Rogue Ghost Trap card. When this card is drawn, again, you would use the Rogue Ghost deck, reveal it, and the player that it affects, that ghost will move that player to that room instantly. So let's go ahead and say that our yellow player drew this card as part of his turn. Now all of a sudden he is in room J. Well, I hope you guys found that video helpful. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed this video, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel, as it helps me continue to grow and bring new and exciting games to you guys. And also, thank you guys so much for taking the time to leave me feedback and to watch my videos. I do really appreciate all of it, and I do take into account everything you guys say to try to make the best possible videos. And if you guys are interested, swing by my Facebook and Twitter account. Let me know what you guys are playing. If this is a game you've played, if you like it, if you don't, what other games you guys are playing, or what other games you guys might be interested in me covering. Always interested to start a conversation with you guys and would love to hear from you guys and what you're playing. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.